So Walter, I'm gonna hook you up with the Clásico.
And I have to say, so I'm Mexican American, but I'm the black sheep of my family because I don't like spicy foods at all. So
this is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be very interesting. So I'm already sweating because that's a lot.
All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. There we go. I leveled up for me.
As long as I do less than you. Okay.
All right. No, you're good. Yeah. I mean, don't feel like. I mean, this is just by way of a hot sauce introduction. I have the card somewhere around here. Anybody see it? Did I leave it somewhere special? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that we covered what our Scoville heat is, if any of you are very familiar with the Scoville heat index. So Walter's going to start here with the Hot Ones classic sauce at 1800 Scoville. So
I don't know what that means, but
let's just try it and then we'll talk. I don't want to even mention the number that we get up to but let's just try the Clásico, and as you jump into that one and I jump into that one, my first question, and it's going to be fun. Feel free to pull the table over your way. I'd love to hear so you're principal at Victus Advisors, right? I didn't give that big introduction, but like, tell us what that means and a little bit of how you got there. You've been there 10 years, but you have to eat the wing first.
So do I eat it and then I start answering?
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be super awkward. Everything about this experience is awkward. En español, como diría awkward? Incómodo, no? Okay, so we're going to have a lesson in español hoy, okay? Que yo he aprendido? Tocayo, ¿verdad? Alguien ahí se llama Brian? Anybody out there is also named Brian? Nope, not today. On YouTube, maybe. Tocayo, una persona that has the same name, I guess.
Exactly.
Like my name, my twin name, my name twinner.
Yeah, your brother from another mother.
My brother from another number.
Kind of, something like that.
Also kind of weird that your mother from another brother.
Wait, what did I say?
We're just going to go with...
I'm rattled now with this.
Okay. All right. Tell us how you came to be 10 years at Victus Advisors, a little bit about your career history.
I've been working in the sports industry for more than 10 years, but with Victus, I've been here for 10 years. Started as an analyst, basically almost a year out of grad school, where I went to San Diego State for Sports MBA. Knew I wanted to work in sports, and was introduced to Victus with my previous boss, now partner, Brian, who started the company.
Mi tocayo.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Your tocayo. There you go, yeah. He started the so do I keep eating while, is that the...
Oh, it's self-service.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the crowd will start razzing you. Yeah.
Good, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so he started the business a few years prior, hired me as his first full-time employee, and just kind of grew with the company from there. And eventually, a few years ago, ended up becoming a partner, or principal, which basically just means a co-owner. So me and him co-owned the business together, and that's just kind of how I got really fortunate in that sense. Was kind of in there at the right place, at the right time, and was able to grow with the company and show some level of value from my end, and got to a point now where we're still growing and onwards and upwards.
And tell us, for those that may not be like familiar, how would you summarize what Victus Advisors really does?
The quick answer is we're sports business consultants, so we consult and advise on principally the development of sports entertainment venues. Mm-hmm. So anything from like a recreation center to major arena or stadium, collegiate or professional, and everything in between. And we do a lot of other advisory services related to like mixed-use development districts. So what you're hearing about with like Ryan Smith and downtown here, we're not working on that project, but that's kind of.
But you should be. Where's Ryan?
We should be. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So. So we do that, and we do a lot of analysis related to like sponsorship, naming rights valuation. So we did sponsorship valuation for example, for Inter Miami when for their front of jersey sponsor, and we kind of helped negotiate and broker what the incremental clause would be if Messi came, which he did eventually come, and so just a lot of different type of research and
fascinating. So that just if I double click on that, you're telling me that when they were doing the front jersey sponsorship negotiations, that Inter Miami was basically saying, if we get Messi,
it was more of a when we get Messi.
This is what the difference is going to be.
So it was the conversations were already happening. So in this case, we actually represented the brand, which is XBTO, the crypto brand, and we helped represent them and help them understand what those clauses would be. And what was funny about, I guess I can talk about this now. I don't know what your distribution level is, so we'll see what happens.
It's huge.
Yeah, right. For example, in the contract, it didn't say him specifically, but it said that this player with this specific criteria, and the only person with that criteria was him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that there had to be legal ways around that. And so, that was interesting. So that's the kind of just different type of research that we do.
I mean, as soon as you say deportes, I think it's like I'm going to try this. Es una tema caliente. Can we say that? It's a sexy topic. Yeah, Martin's over there telling me Martin and I had a whole conversation before this even came about, because Martin's one of our secret sauce members, comes every month, brings a crowd, and I said, "Hey, Martin, I got this una idea." And he was like, "Cool. What's the idea?" I was like, "I want to do preguntas calientes," and he was like, and his eyes, right? He's like, "You do." And I'm like, and he was really gracious. He like let me go on and tell my whole story. And he's like, I think you want to do preguntas ardientes.
That was gonna say, yeah, because that, depending on the audience here, that could be a different.
Maybe if I had a different guest, because I was like, I got this guy Walter. He's awesome. He speaks way Spanish. Blah blah blah. I want to talk sexy in Spanish, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, anyway. So there's the yes.
Very confusing.
Yes.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. There's always time for another opportunity, right? If the right person is out there, invíteme a una pregunta caliente.
Solo fanáticos. There you go.
Solo fanáticos. Muy bien.
There you go.
Okay. Una pregunta más, y we're gonna jump into Little Dicks. Okay. Little Dicks is taking it up a level. You're going 3 times the heat. I will say these are very deceiving, Walter, because you're gonna hit some of these that actually taste good and don't the Scoville, like someday I need to actually research what Scoville actually means, because
the first one had a kick, but it was
not terrible.
It was manageable. Yeah.
So Little Dick's big flavor, ghost pepper pear, and we're at 7,000 Scoville here on this one. So we get into that one.
Yeah, just a little tad there. Oh wow.
Hey, here we go. By the way, the ranch really helps. Anybody out there that is, feel free to pop the lid off of that.
I see there's milk here too, and I'll
Yep.
That's good.
Partake of the milk. And we are the live audience, always invite you to come up and partake. So if I do set one of the sauces aside, like, don't feel like you're interrupting. Come on up and grab your Little Dick. I mean, your the Little Dick sauce.
Jump into it then?
Yep. Travis is never going to do this again. Travis is my guest in November, and he's lost all faith in humanity. Okay. So la pregunta segunda que tenemos es, Victus Advisors es un negocio pequeño, trabajando con negocios, ciudades, organizaciones gigantes, ¿no? So unas lecciones que nos puedes compartir en cómo nosotros pequeños, ¿verdad? O nuestros negocios pequeños pueden conseguir estos contratos.
Buena pregunta.
En inglés él nos va a repetir.
Somos una empresa pequeña, somos 7 empleados de tiempo completo, y nuestra competencia, hay como 5 o 6 empresas como la nuestra.
Okay.
Y ellos tienen docenas y docenas, más de 100 empleados, hasta 1,000 empleados en total en sus corporaciones. Entonces, para nosotros, la mayoría de nuestros clientes, cuando son clientes públicos, vamos por un proceso, una solicitud pública, donde tenemos que hacer una propuesta y así podemos ganar los proyectos. Y para los otros tiene que ser por word of mouth, por tener la red correcta, etc. Entonces, so I'll do that in English. So we're a small company, only 7 full-time employees, and the majority of our public clients were those projects are won through a public RFP process. So we have to actually submit a proposal, so it's a public bid process. And then the others are through word of mouth or having the right connections and just kind of networking. Mm-hmm. And so, being that the majority of our competitors have, as I mentioned, dozens of employees, sometimes in the hundreds for some of them specifically, and there's only 5 or 6 firms that do what we do nationwide. Our competitive advantage is twofold. We're not owned by a sales company, so we're an independent firm. All these other firms, some of them are owned by a sales company, some are independent, but
When you
That's one
say
of our
sales company, like, what do you mean?
So, like, for example, one of our competitors is owned by, they do the research, but they're owned by a sales company that then sells the naming rights or sells the premium seats.
Yeah, okay.
And so that can create sometimes a conflict of interest because how objective do you know the reports are? Because are they
They're
inflated?
incentivized.
They're incentivized because they want to sell more, because they sell more, they get commissions, et cetera. So our role is just to do the research and then let the decision makers based on our research.
And you found that at some levels that's been the competitive advantage, right?
Yeah, that's been a competitive advantage. And then number two, because we're smaller, because all of us are involved in the project, there's no like I only touch this or I only do this, even though I'm a principal. No, I do everything from the bottom up, just like anyone
you're
else.
Like still in the analyst role sometimes.
Exactly.
And then
and so when we're dealing with clients, they like that personable approach. That even though I'm a principal or working with the analysts, working the same, we're responsive, we're personable. They feel like they're getting big business expertise, but at a very local, small town, personal level. And I think that's something that's really been helpful for us. And I think that's helped us gain a national reputation, positive national reputation.
Do you have any like recommendations on how to lean into that, right? Because it's like, I mean, I'm tiny, right? I'm extremely small business, right? So it's like when I think of working with the Utah Jazz, maybe it's just because I don't cross over, but I don't know. Is there any like words of wisdom of like how do you get involved with those? I mean, is it just pure networking? Is it just case studies? Like, do I need to flex somehow?
It depends on who the audience is. Like I said, if it's a public entity, then most likely it's going to go through a public process. And the way to really make yourself attractive at that point is literally by winning a lot of projects leading up to that, right? Because they really rely heavily on your previous experience that are similar.
It's in that scenario, name dropping a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah, for sure. And then with the professional teams, it is more of the networking. It's being in the right place, having the right connections. And I think this actually applies to anyone here, and it certainly applied to me personally. Is that if whatever job you're in, build the right relationships. When you leave for another job, don't burn those bridges, because you never know when that relationship will come in handy later on. And so I can definitely testify of that in the sports world. My first internship was with Real Salt Lake 17 years ago. And I maintained the relationships when I left, and that allowed me to 6 years later to do business with Real Salt Lake, because I connected with the right people that I had left, but I left on good terms and built good relationships.
Did you say 6 years later?
Yeah.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean the network. So in the sports world, and I think this applies to the business world, is maintain those relationships years after, because you never know. That person might go on to a different role. I might go on a different role where they may intersect again. And so if they have good memories of you, or know that you're honest, you're hardworking, you're personable, that definitely goes a long way. And I've seen that firsthand.
Well, I love to hear that, because I mean, I feel
Wait, is this a new sauce, or is this
you feel free to jump into it already if you want. This one is Los Calientes, and de verdad es en español. No es mentira, no es traducción. So tenemos, dice que son 5 de 10. So 5 de 10 is what the hotness level says. That looks, that one. It says smoky sweet verde, inspired by our favorite Cali Mex flavors. So
I'm trying to I'm not drinking water on purpose, because I'm just trying to build up immunity, because I know that as it gets, I'm going to have to finish that pretty quickly. So
well,
trying to build immunity. No, it was there.
No.
It was compliments of the house. I think.
Compliments of the house.
Yeah.
That's Shay in the back there. She's seen enough destruction that's come from these scenarios. Cool. Okay. Let me jump into another one here I got for you. Okay. One of these posts that if you don't follow Walter on LinkedIn, jump into LinkedIn. He's active there.
Feel free to connect with me.
Connect with them. But that's one of the places I love to connect with professionals and get a background on them. But one of the things that I saw just a couple of weeks ago that Victus Advisors posted, and then you reshared, but it had this idea that during the week you guys like study and analyze event venues, and then during the weekends you get to experience them.
Yeah.
So maybe tell us. I mean, you feel free to like humble brag a little bit of like that's kind of fun, right? Like you get to do some behind the scenes work, and then jump into some cool venues. So maybe just tell us about a few of those.
Like I said, being in this industry is great from my personal standpoint, because I'm actually a big sports fan, period. So I grew up I was actually a sports nerd growing up. Where I don't know. I'm probably really dating myself. Some of you might not know what this is, but back in the day, actually you're my age, right? Or no, I think you're younger than me.
No, we're close.
Yeah, we're close enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but
what are you, like 30?
Okay, I'm 39. If
No,
I probably look older, but I'm 39. So back in the day when I was growing up, you could listen. They had little headsets that were radios, right? And so at home, before I would go to bed, rather than read a book, I would actually listen to sports talk radio before I would go to bed and have my little
That's
headset
dedication.
on. So that
That's
way,
next level.
my mom wouldn't get mad because she wouldn't hear like an actual boombox or anything, but it would just be in
Yeah.
my ear. So I listened just sports radio growing up, and then I knew I wanted to work in sports my whole life. Initially, I wanted to be a sports doctor. Bombed calculus my first year at the University of Utah, and realized I needed to change course and did business. So, long story short, that's really my only thing. And I have 3 daughters, and so their world is much different than mine in terms of what their interests are. And so I'm trying to find commonality with them through sports. And so I have this little tradition that I'm a big University of Utah sports fan, but also other sports. And so I have this tradition during the football season that I'll take each daughter on a daddy-daughter trip to a different Utah road game.
Oh,
And
cool.
so a few weeks ago, I was in UCLA for the Utah-UCLA game, took my middle daughter. And then just this past weekend, I took my youngest daughter to Wyoming for Utah at Wyoming. And then in 2 weeks or the next weekend, I'm going to take my other daughter, my oldest, to West Virginia for the Utah-West Virginia game. But while we're in town, we try to do other things that are interesting to them, but they just love traveling, flying, and being in a hotel. But my other daughter in UCLA, it happened to coincide with the Dodgers game the night before, which I'm a Dodgers fan. So we went to Dodgers game one night, and then we went to a Utes game the night before. So
So
I
cool.
get the opportunity, like they're not really interested in the sports. Like they'd rather, like my youngest, she brings like toys with her in the stands that
Yeah.
she's playing with, but like
Yeah.
we get to enjoy that, and hopefully that'll be a nice memory that they have. But yeah, we try to live the things that we analyze in sports. So that's kind of my little interest, because I don't really have other interests. I'm kind of a boring person. If you get to know me, all I talk about, all I care about is sports. That's it.
No, I don't believe that for a second. But I think I'm the boring person in terms of like I'm not a sports fanatic of like any kind. I enjoy college basketball and I enjoy the seasons of whatever, but I don't follow teams, or I don't even get behind one particular sport. But I will say I was at the opposite. I was at a BYU game by invitation. Hopefully, maybe because I am so boring, I do get invitations to both. So like last year I got to go to the big Rumble in Salt Lake, and the Holy War, whatever people call it. And I got an invitation to that. And then I just got an invitation to a BYU game. But it was cool because we were there, and the person that invited me was talking about how their grandfather used to take them to BYU games, and they'd go to this specific spot and they'd kind of watch the players come out of the tunnel, and it was the opposing team. So what they would go watch, and they kind of like would glare down the opposing team and size them up and stuff.
Yeah.
But it just was a cool moment, like talking about how transcendent beyond just the sport so much of entertainment venues are, right? And I don't know, I just that's like, I'm an events guy, so like that's what gets me excited. And then also I gotta say, like BYU's third quarter transition to fourth quarter has anybody experienced this recently? Like I had not been to it in years.
I hear it's pretty good.
Didn't
they have a drone show recently?
Yeah,
too,
they've done drone shows,
Yeah.
but they have like the Cosmo come out there and bang the
Yeah.
drums, and then people are like doing the clapping, and then it gets insane, and then there's it's like a 4th of July fireworks show.
Yeah.
And then you've got the student section going bonkers, right? And it's just like it's next level. And I'm like, see, so I almost get behind the event experience behind some of this stuff. And I think when I think of what you guys get to do, you're analyzing that and you're saying, hey, there's more than just a team on a field running around, right? It's like we're trying to help communities understand how they come together, what value that is. I mean, you guys just did a project in Riverside, which is like my backyard where I grew up. For it's the USL,
Yep.
right? Doing a training and a full
Yep.
soccer stadium, right? That's just fascinating to me. It's like, how cool is it that, like, when I was growing up, I never would have thought something like that would be in the backyard, let alone have any potential of getting off the ground. It felt like the middle of the ghetto, but apparently Riverside's got it going on.
It's growing,
now.
yeah. There's a lot of exciting things happening.
So, all right, that was a little bit of a tangent, but you got through that one. Do you want to go next level?
I'm ready to go.
Should
Next
we go
level.
Dawson's hot? We're at 5 out of 10, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Let's do it.
Dawson's hot sauce. This one throws in. It says apple caraway. Surprise! The first ingredient is peppers. Oh, and Scoville rating. Some of you are wondering.
Yeah.
We're getting up to 52,000. Started at 7,000, so 52,000 Scoville.
Oh
on this
wow!
one.
Holy
Yeah.
cow!
He seems like he's doing pretty good, right, crew?
I'm holding on. I'm not an emotional person, so I'm trying to. I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve, so I'm just internalized right now. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. That's.
Should, I have, yes, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Fortunately and unfortunately, the YouTube version of shout out to Nate who does our videography, really just started a few episodes ago. So that was good and bad for me because there's been some pretty bad ones. This guy's about to start choking. Oh my gosh. Nobody even comes for the answers to the questions, I've realized. You all just come for the pain. Like, no one really cares what Walter has to say. It's just like, let's just put him through the gauntlet and then make fun of him. All right. I got to type in my wife's code the right way. All right. What about, one of the things that really struck me about having you as a guest is community building, right? I mean, there's lots of cool entrepreneurs out there that are doing like whatever their thing, but I think one thing that sets you apart is you're heavily involved in being an adjunct, which is no joke, right? It's time, energy, effort. Heavily involved in building community. So maybe just tell us about that tenet of your career, why that's important to you, and some of the things that you do in that.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing growing up is some probably can attest here. Growing up Mexican American, there's definitely a lot of obstacles that one encounters. I've personally have been very fortunate along my path that I've had a lot of mentorship, a lot of people, family, friends that have guided me, that have helped me, that have put me in the right path to achieve a lot of beneficial things for myself and my family. And so I feel obligated that I have to turn around and help those that are coming behind me. Like it would be foolish of me to close the door and say like, okay, well, I'm going to keep moving forward and forget about it. And I grew up as an only child, so I didn't have any siblings. So
that's good. I have an only child, so this is good.
Yeah. So I kind of just, like I said, I had a lot of mentorship, a lot of people that kind of took me under their wing and throughout my whole life. So not just in college and even to this day. And so and kind of looking at my peers, I've had a lot of people who. So I was born in the U.S. I was born in San Diego, but I lived for a few years in Tijuana in Mexico, and then went back to the U.S. But I know a lot of people that weren't as fortunate, that because of that they've faced even more insurmountable obstacles here in the U.S. that I haven't. And so and they're 10 times smarter than me. And so I've been fortunate to be involved in a lot of initiatives and nonprofits that I've been on boards specifically for raising scholarship funds for specifically Latinos that want to start or continue or finish their college education. And I've been able to serve on a few boards at the University of Utah and other community groups. And so I think the biggest thing that I've really tried to emphasize for me personally is if I received help, how can I help other people to lift up? Because those people are going to be our future doctors or future leaders, or maybe one of them is going to cure cancer. You never know. Like keeping just support and help and not necessarily pushing them towards sports, which is obviously I'm biased towards, but just how can I help someone? How can I help them with their resume? How can I help them network? How can I help them create a little vision or roadmap of where they want to be career-wise? And so that's kind of been my ethos that I try to live by. And so and I think specifically, and I'm not. So my wife has a saying, and to avoid talking about yourself or saying good things about yourself, she says, "Don't put salsa on your tacos." So this is nice pun here, right? So not to put salsa on my tacos, but
that's awesome.
I've and I'm sure all of you guys have met people as you network and meet people that maybe feel like they're mentoring or helping others is kind of beneath them. And I like to think of myself as super open and just like low maintenance. So like that's really a literal open invitation. Like connect with me on LinkedIn. Like if I can help you in some way and provide value for you, like helping to network and connect with people. Holy cow, you spilled it on the other one too. So now that's good.
Guys.
So anyway, yeah, like I said, it's just my way of trying to just put my arena or granito de arena, just trying to make a small impact in any way that I can. And I made great connections, like making connection with you. I made connection with with Juan Carlos, who actually we connected through LinkedIn.
Okay,
I
cool.
think it was about a year ago, and we've
Yeah.
so LinkedIn works. So
LinkedIn.
it's been a great friendship that we've developed over
Un
the year
amor
now.
y odio.
So just trying to help in the community, and specifically in the Latino community, which I have a great affinity for, is how can we grow together and be positive and impactful contributors to the society at large.
Love it. You ready for the next one? Okay. Jerk. It says Jerk and Scotch Bonnet something. Pepper North is the brand. 71,000. So it's not really. It's only 20,000 more Scoville. Nobody's jumping out of their seat to run up to the front and try these sauces. No? Okay. Weird. Odd. Okay. Well, Walter's doing great, right? I mean, he's like taking the heat, right? Okay. Okay. I had a couple of questions from the audience that I wanted to make sure I got to if I didn't run out. So, this one's hyper local. This face is so awesome. I was like looking away and I just caught out.
But the thing is, it's not just the spice; it's also the taste. Because I just don't like.
It's not good.
At least not to me. I'm a picky guy. So.
It's a vinegar taste.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
I'm
speaking
plain.
of what you just said, super generous and spending your time with me, coming out here with these guys. But one of the hyper local questions I got that I thought would maybe just be fun to chat about would be ballpark neighborhood, right?
Okay.
Smith Ballpark. The Miller family building the new one. If you don't know already, in Daybreak. Now we've got the ballpark. In some ways, kind of like sidelined from what's going on with Smith, Ryan Smith, not to confuse with Smith Ballpark, but if you could choose what the redevelopment would look like at the Smith's Ballpark there, like the old Bees Stadium, what would you like?
So
what would you say?
I don't know who asked this, but this is a super targeted question because my firm actually did the study for the city on what to do with the ballpark.
I actually didn't write down who wrote it, but I just grabbed it out of the audience one.
So good question. Anyway, so we were hired specifically by the Salt Lake City Redevelopment Agency to look at what are the feasible options for Smith's Ballpark now that the Beasts have left.
Yeah.
And so our research showed there's really three options, and where we ended up presenting these options to the city is, number one, leave it as is and try to find another tenant, long-term sports tenant, and whether that's baseball or another team. Number two, leave basically a hybrid, leaving certain components of the stadium because it has a lot of significant meaning for the neighborhood. Historical meaning for the residents that live in that general area. And then the third option was just demolish it completely and just start from scratch and just build, green space or apartment buildings or
whatever
housing or mixed use, whatever, right? And so we had recommended option 2, and that's ultimately what the city ended up moving with. And that the reason why is, so in our research and community engagement, we did this with another project partner as well. The residents really felt that the ballpark was part of their neighborhood identity. And so they said, whatever happens, we want to just know that it still has that ballpark feel. And so, and speaking with concert promoters and part of our research, we said that there are certain components that they want. There's fixed permanent structures there with like restrooms and other things that can still be utilized in a hybrid format that can still activate the space for like potential concerts in the future. Okay. What is this? This is number 6?
Don't get distracted by this. No, you just no.
So anyway,
presta atención a la pregunta.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of got rattled. So the anyway, so the idea with this hybrid venue is that you can still have, you can activate the space with concerts, with green space, with festivals, so that it's still a community gathering place, but there's still going to be reminders of what it was. Mm-hmm. And so we're not designers or architects, so we don't actually visualize what that can look like, but it's just more conceptually preconception of this is what the demand is for, this is what the uses could be like, this is what it could look like in the long term. And so that was my, I try to leave the personal emotions out of it, but it makes sense. Yeah, but based on kind of what makes logistical sense, based on our research, that's kind of the approach. And I think that makes the most sense. And that's really what you're seeing nationwide though too, just trending wise, is that creating these mixed use spaces that are gathering places where, you know, you can activate it for different events. That's just multi-use. Before, back in the day, it was all about single purpose for stadiums specifically.
Right.
But now it's more like, how can we maximize it so that it's going to be used year round, and it's going to be an open space, and it's not going to sit empty for X months out of the year when it's an off season, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I've personally found it fascinating because, I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the West High School rebuild that just came out, but I mean, I have personal feelings on that just because I think it's a joke. But well, just because let me just you know, since I got the mic, you know, I might as well say what I like to say. I'm passionate about like, yeah, mixed use, and like obviously I'm an events guy. Like I want high community uses. I mean, I own a plunge studio that is literally built for bringing people into third spaces, right? Anyway, so long story short, on West High School, they basically, if you haven't heard, they're basically like building a brand new high school across the street from West High School. Everybody knows Salt Lake City, West High School, like what is that, 3rd West, 4th West? They're building a new high school on the track across the street, and the only thing they're preserving is the entrance of the facade, which is going to like enter into the athletic side. So they're flip-flopping it, right? School building is going to be torn down eventually after they build the new one across the street. That'll become sports fields. Anyway, I'm like, what a like total, like, I also have like personal, because my grandmother like she went to West High School and then moved to Southern California, and that's how I got to Southern California. But I'm just giving him a break over here.
I don't even know what you're saying. All I know is my lips are, it's not even my tongue, it's my lips that are on fire.
Oh, but I didn't even give you the intro on this one. Sorry, I got distracted on my soapbox. The pepper ninja hot sauce is this one. Ninja napalm, in fact. We got some napalm we're throwing out. And that one did level up the Scoville a little bit. So we went from 71,000 and you just experienced 133,000 Scoville. So again, can somebody just invent a Scoville rating that's 1 through 10? Like, do we have to have 133,000? I just, does it? Okay, maybe that's what it is. I'm always scared of the bomb. We're at the Pepper Ninja's number 7 of 10. I think that's number 8 is the worst.
My lips, the water does nothing to my lips.
No, it does nothing. It does nothing. All right, I think I got any questions I don't get to. I want to give some time to that. So maybe one more question from me. Let me pick which one I really wanted. Okay. All right, let's see if I can do this one in Spanish. But feel free to answer it in inglés si quieres. So ustedes estudian mucho el sentimiento de consumidores. ¿Es una palabra? ¿Puedes compartir cómo negocios pueden hacer eso mejor? ¿Cómo nosotros podemos determinar mejor cuáles son los sentimientos de nuestros consumidores? Algo así.
So I think you were asking about like consumer trends or habits, or something like that.
Consumers. Consumer sentiments. Like, cow. I mean, you guys are getting. One thing that we didn't talk about on Victus Advisors is like you guys do both sides of the equation, which is kind of cool. Like you'll go in and let's take Riverside Stadium. Like you'll consult on behalf of the city to do something, but then you also consult on behalf of the private party. So like I don't know. I just feel like. Maybe is there any tips on how to gain, like, what is it that the consumer wants? Like, how do we get there for whatever business we're running?
Yeah, so sometimes we'll work for a city, sometimes we'll work for a developer or an owner or potential owner. So yeah, what does the consumer want? It just kind of depends on the audience. Obviously, the consumer wants to be entertained. So from the sports sense, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm sure most of you have heard of Savannah Bananas. Like that's
fascinating.
It's fascinating. They're selling out NFL stadiums now, right?
Yeah.
Because people want to be entertained. And this specifically, they want family entertainment. And okay, I think my lips are finally starting to feel a little bit better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. Is it possible to like just bite without getting your lips?
You want to on this
I'm gonna
one.
have to.
You definitely want
go
to
like
on
that.
this one.
So it's gonna look really awkward. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that goes part of our research and that's through what we do specifically is primary and secondary research. So primary research is by speaking to consumers.
Okay.
So that's through, sometimes through surveys, through actual interviews, focus groups, and then through secondary research, which is seeing what the secondary data that says, right? And we match that together and see how that's relevant to a specific market and how it relates to whatever project we're working on, and how we give that in a digestible format to our clients. So I don't know. Does that answer? I don't even know. Does that answer your question?
I feel like it's the best you can do when you're about to. Okay, wait. Before you do that, before you do the bomb, okay, I got to give the. Does anybody want to step in here for? I mean, does anybody want to come up and join Walter in the misery?
Do it,
You'll
man.
be forever recorded on YouTube.
Juan Carlos, yeah, there we go.
Juan
He brought me into
Carlos!
this, so
Yes. By the way,
Yeah, you did make me come here.
as part of this, so one of my other communities is Plunge, and all of our featured guests get a free session at Plunge to cool off and also jump in the sauna. So Walter's going to get that. So Juan Carlos, I think we should extend it to you as well. That we'll get you a free session to jump into the bomb sauce. I did put it. This is the bomb. In fact, I don't know if any of you in the front row, but. Like you literally take this off, and if I set it up here, like the aroma will make it to you. Like
So,
it's terrible.
all right, so he goes first then.
Okay,
Same time.
Wait, do we have the money question that they're gonna have to answer right after? Because we don't that's the hard part, is they have to start answering the question, not just being like, oh, it's so hot. It's like, no, what are they answering? I have a couple more, unless anybody has one that they want. Ronnie, you have one, and then Nick. Let's get both of them. So Ronnie.
I just wanted to ask, what was kind of the coolest or biggest project for a sports team that you worked on?
Okay, we got that one. Keep for reals.
wow.
My man's okay. All right, so.
All right. So do you want me to take a bite and then start answering it?
Yep, you got to dip it.
So,
Yep. I'm not doing it.
All right. So I have to. Hold on. This is gonna look really awkward.
Oh, this is great. This is the awesome that we have this.
He's pretty good at it.
Yeah? I should have gotten you a couch or a chair. I don't know, you're just like standing over there. You think it tastes good? Have you done this before?
No, but it was good.
The bomb. Did you mix it in the wrong one?
No, it's just one right
No, here. There. You want some more? Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my gosh. I'm not even.
He says he was the black sheep of Mexicans. I'm not.
You're not? Not gonna no, you're.
What's the opposite of the black sheep?
Holy cow!
Like the white sheep? What is, I'm trying to remember the palabra for conejo? That's rabbit, right?
Rabbit?
Dang it.
The rabbit?
The black rabbit. What's the black sheep? Call the milk out.
Answer your question.
Wait. Are we doing another one after this, or is that?
That's it, dude.
All right.
That's it, dude. You made it through the wilderness.
Holy cow! Well, you know what? I need to put salsa on my tacos real quick, because
That's impressive.
I thought I would last to stage 2.
He did. He told. Give him a round of applause for that. Because I've had other
This is
guests that
huge.
have specifically been like, "Hey, I'm not even. Don't want to do it." Walter's he was like, "Man,
All right.
I just want to say, you haven't did great.
dang it! I know. I'm still on the last one. I can't do it."
All right. So I think the question was, wow, the milk. There's like an after kick after that.
It just keeps going. That's why when you. That's why.
I'm gonna have to rotate.
Juan Carlos calling me out. I'm not touching it. That other one's bad enough. It's
So-
disgusting.
Holy cow! So there's a few ones. I'll mention.
Can we get another round of water?
Yeah, is there another milk
Can we
too?
just keep that on the? Oh. You guys start drinking ranch,
Holy cow!
dude.
Oh, I love milk. That's actually my favorite drink. But holy cow! Okay, so probably the two that stick out to me are, for anybody that knows sports that watched the NFL growing up. Now my lips are hot again.
It's so
I thought
bad.
it was over.
It's
So, are any of you familiar with Aloha Stadium?
Yeah.
The old stadium?
Hawaii.
Yeah. So,
This guy right there. Yep.
okay. So, oh, did you? Okay.
And it's not even a plant. It's for real.
Awesome. Okay, so I went there. I visited Hawaii like in 1997. Oh, thank you. Just keep those coming. Keep those coming. So I visited Hawaii. I took a picture outside the stadium because I thought it was cool. And so we got hired a few years ago by the state of Hawaii to look at the feasibility of a new Aloha Stadium. So that stadium has, I think, capacity was 50,000, but it was built. It was built in that era where like those mega like concrete stadiums. So thinking of like Candlestick Park for anyone that like the 49ers, Oakland Alameda Stadium, which still exists. Where I'm a Raiders fan, where the Raiders used to play. Qualcomm Stadium for anyone that's from San Diego or knows San Diego, where the Chargers used to play. So they were built in that same kind of mold.
Excuse me. Not my phone.
I just gonna like gargle it down.
Do you want? Do you want this?
No, that's all right. Please, I still have some more here. So anyway, so we got hired to do that. So we did. It was a full research study, and it was really cool. And ended up recommending that the stadium be no larger than a new stadium, no larger than 35,000, but it would be a mixed use. I hope this doesn't mean I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I think either burp or something. Hold on. I think I'm okay. I think it's because I chugged that milk so fast.
I have not yet to get barf bags, but this might be the. I should probably get those.
Okay. All right. So. Okay.
The cap's still off. If anybody wants to come try it.
Yeah. Someone needs to.
Juan Carlos, dude. That guy's.
So anyway, so
machine.
they're gonna finally build it now, and it's gonna be in that range. I think it's gonna be like 32,000, 33. I don't remember what it finally came out to, but it's gonna be a mixed use district. It's gonna be there's gonna have housing, office, residential. So we worked on that. That was a big project. So that was a really cool one to work on. And then probably the one that I'm probably the most proud of is so there's a soccer team right across the border from El Paso, Texas. And I did this project. Thank you. 6 years ago. So FC Juarez is part of Liga MX, which is the Mexican Soccer League, which is actually, for those that will follow soccer, it's actually the most popular soccer league in the U.S. from a ratings popularity standpoint.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so you have Liga MX and then EPL, which is English Premier League. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Did you just milk a cow? Like, I mean,
Was this responsibly milked?
Hey, that is Curtis. That's why you host your events at Kiln, because they have milk on demand.
Oh yeah, this is great. Oh, this is such a difference. Thank you so much. So anyway, so this project that I personally led and procured and earned for this Liga MX club. So they play. It's a newer club that was founded, basically bought from another city and rebranded as FC Juarez in 2014. And so, long story short, they've been playing in an old stadium that was built in the 1980s that had an Olympic track, like those old school stadiums, and led them through this whole study. Did the study both in English and in Spanish with surveys on both sides of the border because it's right in El Paso. It's part of the El Paso market and Juarez. And ended up, they wanted to build a stadium that was like for like 50, 60,000. The research said otherwise. It needed to be like in that 25,000 range, and but very modern, more like an MLS style stadium. And so they still haven't built the stadium because they're fighting with the Chihuahua state government for the land that they want, because they want it right next to the border, which makes the most economic sense because you're going to get a lot
both sides.
Yeah, because usually 20 to 30% of the fans are people that are coming from El Paso, and so that was just one that was really cool for me because I was able to use my expertise being Mexican American and really draw on all my previous work experience. Español, yeah. And so that was a really cool one that I'm still proud of and really excited for. And hopefully, fingers crossed, as things are shifting in Liga MX right now, hopefully another project's in the pipeline for another club.
Cool.
So
okay, no más salsas, no tenemos más.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know where I don't know if they're just saying that to like create buzz, but like there's no way legally that could happen, right? Or politically, but
in la frontera,
yeah,
like literally
but
they
they talked about like literally half the stadium would be on US.
Oh my gosh, what a nightmare!
And I'm like, I don't know how that would happen. So
yeah,
But it
Yeah.
went, they went bonkers in Mexican media, and I was like, I don't know who's saying that, but anyway, but that would never happen. No way.
Yeah, maybe on Canada's border. That's Canada.
Maybe Canada,
You know,
yeah.
in Canada, there's
Yeah.
like a bunch of places where you can walk, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you go into a church, and there's like half of it's in the U.S. Anyway, I saw it on Google Earth one time. Okay, I got one other question, but is there one other question before he doesn't have to eat any more salsas, so you're gonna have to just ask normal questions.
Thank you. Oh.
Anybody got one that we haven't answered yet?
Yeah. You work with big clients. And when you work with big clients, you have all the competitors hitting on that client constantly. How do you build retention with those clients? How do you make those big clients come in and work with you? What kind of value do you bring?
Yeah.
What do you do for them to stay with you and create a long-term relationship?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is ensuring that our work is quality, that they truly feel that we're looking out for their best interest as a client, and delivering a product that they feel like, okay, this is exactly what we needed, right? And because of that, there's city clients that continually hire us year after year after year. Where now, because of the nature of some of those contracts once you hire a specific consultant, and they want to hire us again for another project, they don't have to go through a public bid process. They can just amend the existing contract, and we get additional business.
That's a great strategy.
That it is, yeah. So it's not every entity can do that. Every city and every state is a little bit different, but that's for the public entity ones. For the private clients, like I said, just they get pushed around, or not pushed around, but they get approached by a lot of clients. But it's all about creating the right relationships. And if you have those relationships from beforehand, before they start working there, or if you develop it while you're there, and they see the value, and you can build that loyalty, then that lasts for a long time. And so the onus is on us as consultants to always deliver quality, objective, independent research, and not make them feel like it's biased in one way or another, but that we're giving them. And that's kind of what our ethos is, as a business too, is not telling our clients what they want to hear, but what they need to hear, so that they can make an informed decision.
Which can be hard in things like ballpark neighborhoods,
Right,
and I mean, there's a lot, politicians, right? Like when they're trying to do some redevelopment, it's like a lot rides on what that says or doesn't say. Any other questions? Right here, Eddie. Ooh.
Oh, that's a great question. I think maybe the only thing would be education. So I went to the University of Utah undergrad business administration, and then got a sports MBA later on. I think I wish I would have been more try to be more specific with my undergrad for doing, whether it would have been like entrepreneurship or marketing, or rather than something general, because I would have liked to specialize in something specifically. So I've had to learn kind of the hard way and developing a lot of skill sets now, which isn't a bad thing. But I think I wish I would have just been more proactive about that. But like at the same time, I just said, I want to work in sports. I'll just do business, and I'll just do business administration. So I wasn't really thinking things through. But other than that, though, I think for the most part, I've been very fortunate with a lot of decisions that I've made career-wise that have been positive steps. But again, I don't want to contribute that to just because I did it. I just had a lot of guidance and leadership, mentorship, and people that kind of guided me in the right place. And so I think I think this applies to anyone in not just business, but in career in general, is, if you network with the right people, if you put in the right and hard work with networking, then you'll be lucky a lot more often than not, if that makes sense, right? So I kind of got combination. I'm very lucky to be where I got to, but a lot of that has to do with those other components, right? So luck just kind of naturally happens by doing those other things. So that's kind of what I kind of try to live by now.
Well, I think you're doing a good job of it, because I'll give you an example, a real time example. So a lot of times with the guest, speaking of our LinkedIn friends, I'll reach out to mutual connections that know you, maybe know me, tell them that I'm hosting you for this, and invite them, right? So I reached out to Michael at Snow Basin.
Yeah, Michael Ruckert.
Yeah, Michael Ruckert. So
we were interns together.
Yeah, so it was awesome. So I've worked with him over the years a few times, not super closely, but messaged them last week and was just like, hey, I've got Walter on stage next week. Love to have you. And he was like, oh, I really can't come, but we were interns together.
Yeah.
Super good guy. He's awesome. So so to your point, like long-term relationship building,
Yeah.
I mean, hanging out with an intern and he's doing great things at Snow Basin.
And what's really cool is we were both in the athletics department at the U. I didn't know I would work in consulting. I don't even think he knew he would be doing that.
Yeah.
And now he's actively, going to be a stakeholder and participant in the Olympics in 2034. And he's already hosted Olympic stakeholders and delegates and everything. And he's actively doing great things. And now he's also teaching at the U. And so, it's just really cool to see where. So again, I don't think there's anyone. Is anyone here in college right now? No one. But even still, like if you're in your professional career, like just build those relationships with your coworkers, with your peers, because 5-10 years down the road, you never know where they're going to be at and how your paths can cross again, and you can create some really cool synergistic collaborations.
Love it. My last question for you. All right, Juan Carlos, do we have enough time? Are you sure? He did the bomb sauce. So pregúntale.
What's the next step for Victus? Like, what's the next step of growth? You said you guys don't do design. Is that something that maybe you
Yeah.
That's a great question. So we do have something in the pipeline that's going to be announced very soon. From the
Do we share with our followers? All of them? A lot of them? The few of them? The brown?
we'll expect something in the next few weeks that'll be announced officially. Yeah, it's in beta mode right now, but that's something that hopefully will be that'll actually be a combination of sports and non-sports stuff. We've also launched a digital marketing service called Victus Marketing, which is helping small to medium-sized businesses with digital and fractional CMO services. And we've grown that considerably over the last year, 6 months since we launched officially nationwide as well. So from the sports Victus Advisors specifically, it's a constant hustle. So all those that freelance or that work as consultants or just that business, there's no guaranteed income stream. Like if you provide a software service or whatever, where it's just like
you're always like getting yourself out of a job.
Because our projects usually last 3 to 4 months at most. And so once that project, when you launch a new project, you're already thinking about where's the next project going to come from, right? You already kind of have to think 3 steps ahead. And so it's just constant like hustle mode to build those relationships. So it's going to conferences, which I'm heading to the airport right now after this for a conference I'm going to be attending in San Diego, meeting the right people, building relationships, and knowing that it's not a quick sales cycle. Like, when I used to work in retail banking at Wells Fargo while I was in school. So it's not expected to get sales that same day. Like these are sales that take years to develop before they come. And a lot of the things that we end up working on too, specifically with professional sports, are things that don't come to light until years later. So we sign NDAs and we start working on a project for a stadium, and then it finally comes out 2 to 3 years later in the news, right? So it's a lot of you have to really be patient with this process, but also with the sense of urgency that even this project is going to happen in 5 years, you still have to pay the bills, in the next 4 years, right? So it's constant evolution, and our business has evolved a lot too, where it was mainly youth and amateur sports type complexes, but and university arenas and stadiums, but now it's evolved into advising on mixed use developments, advising more on representing sometimes cities, negotiating with franchise owners, sports owners. So we're doing a lot of that for Anaheim right now and representing them, talking with the Angels and the Ducks and things like that. So so it's just growing with the trends with sports. So being on top of what's changing.
Phenomenal having you. I think we're going to close it out. I do typically like to give you guys a little bit of time, and we want to be respectful of Walter getting out of here and hopefully getting to a place where he can take care of himself internally and whatever damage has been done. But on your way out, we're going to give you this cool coupon code. He's already got to join me at Plunge.
I've already been once, so definitely recommend it.
Would love to have any of you join us together.
I have to say, I have to just give you a quick shout out to Brian.
Put some salsa on my tacos.
So thanks to obviously Juan Carlos for having me go to Plunge. I also came into that experience very not negative, but scared. I'm like, like I don't want to do a cold plunge. Like I'm the type, I'm in Spanish friolento. Like I get cold very easy. So even in the summertime, I take hot showers. So
That's right. You mentioned that to
I
me.
mentioned
when
that,
we-
and so I'm like,
yeah.
how am I going to be able to go into this, 30-degree water, whatever the temperature
Mm-hmm.
was, and somehow I put it past me and I did it, and then I didn't want to do this, and I was scared, and I did anyway. So Brian, I will say, Brian, you have a talent in getting people to overcome
to do
fears.
miserable things that somehow end up being awesome.
I'm not promising this, but you could probably somehow convince me to jump out of an airplane. I would never do that, but like that, if
Let's do
he's
it.
already had me overcome two
Let's
things
do
that
it,
I don't
guy.
want to do, but I'm not. That's probably my extreme. So I probably won't do
Burning
that. But
questions,
that's just
falling from an airplane.
flying or dropping. I don't know.
Flying
whatever.
question.
Yeah.
Preguntas de volar.
Del cielo.
Del cielo.
Yeah.
Muy bien. I will say you're all invited to today. There's a code up on the back of the screen. It's BOGO today. You can buy it for any time in the future. Take somebody with you, buy one, get one free. Walter gets to go whenever he wants. You guys have to actually buy it today to get the discount. He gets to go whenever he wants. Or hit me up, and I'd love to host you and some friends doing it. So thanks for being
you.
here, Walter. Everybody give him a round of applause for getting through burning questions. Let's
Thank
go.
you.